This is your quick core and restore practice. Hi, friend. Welcome back to your practice. Welcome back to your mat. I am Katie Arnold, and today's practice is a mix of some core focused work and slowing our practice down, turning to the more gentle and opening components of our practice. We have done a core and restore before with great feedback, so I thought it was time we bring it back for another one. You don't need any props for your practice today, so go ahead, roll out your yoga mat if it's not already, and meet me right back here. All right, so we are going to get started lying all the way down on our backs. An invitation to take whatever position on your back feels most supportive. That can be with the feet planted, knees up towards the ceiling. You can take a Savasana like position with the legs extended. Or the one that I'm going to take myself here today is I'm going to take my feet about as wide as my yoga mat and just knock the knees in towards one another. And maybe you take a few moments and you just find whatever position feels good. Maybe that means trying a couple on, maybe making some slight adjustments. We won't be here too long, but just starting in this place of stillness and allowing ourselves to come into presence, right? So leaving behind whatever may have come before this time together, trying not to worry about any of the to-dos that might be lingering on your to-do list for later. You've set aside this time for yourself. And so allowing yourself to just come into this time for yourself. Connecting in with your breath might be that anchor that pulls you back in. And you don't need to change that breath yet. I'll invite in an opportunity for our Ujjayi breath in a bit. But if that's not suiting you today either, that's okay. I want you to take the breath that feels good. And just bringing that awareness to your breath, noticing how that brings you into our present moment. And if you want to start to build that Ujjayi breath, it's the inhale through the nose. Slight constriction at the back of your throat, and exhale back out through the nose. So it's that ocean sounding breath. Keeping that breath if it feels good. Inhale, bring the knees into your chest. And just take a few rocks side to side or take circles with those knees. And maybe reversing the direction of those circles. And bring those knees through center. Take a breath in. And exhale, drop the knees over towards the left, right arm out towards the right. Just a gentle supine twist. Taking that gaze wherever feels best, maybe all the way over that right shoulder. Maybe you just keep it up towards the ceiling. Inhale, knees back through center. And exhale, just drop them to the other side. Left arm can come out to the left. Again, taking your gaze wherever works best for your neck this morning or this afternoon. Last breath here. And inhale your knees back through center. We're going to start to take a few rock and rolls up and down along the length of your spine. Just massaging out your whole spine. And we'll start to make our way to a tabletop position. So maybe you roll over those ankles. Maybe you just get there however works best for you, but coming through that tabletop. So wrists underneath those shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, coming through cow pose. Exhale, belly button to spine, shin to chest for cat. Inhale is that cow pose, heart shines forward, gaze pulls forward. Exhale through cat, let that spine round, pulling up towards the ceiling. 2 more rounds. Inhale, belly drops. Exhale. Last one. Inhale is your cow. Exhale through cat. Inhale, come back to that neutral tabletop. Curl those toes under and let your hips go up and back, downward facing dog. Maybe you want to pedal out those feet, bending one knee, bending the other. Walking out your downward facing dog. And our practice today is actually staying pretty close to the ground. So this is nice practice to build some core strength, which supports us through all of our yoga practice, all of our yoga asana. Start to find some stillness. Let the heels pull down in the direction of your mat, chest pressing back towards your thighs, easing back in between the legs. Inhale that right leg behind you. And exhale, bring your right knee to your nose so you can step that right foot all the way through in between your hands and soften that left knee down. So start to build that solid foundation. That right knee is tracking over that right ankle. As you're ready, inhale, sweep both arms up, Anjaneyasana, our nice low lunge. So breathing into the front of that left hip, finding that gentle adjustment of the hips. Think about pulling that right hip back a little bit and that left hip forward. So we find this squaring of the hips. Big breath in. Exhale, take that left hand down on the inside of that right foot. Add a twist. Right arm reaching up towards the ceiling. Big inhale breath. Exhale, plant that right hand down and step it back to meet me in a high plank pose. So your hands are really pressing the mat away. We're finding some space through the upper back and shoulders. Core is strong. And at any point, you can drop down onto your knees, but still keep that core engagement to keep building that strength. As you're ready, as you keep taking this practice, maybe you're able to move into those straight legs. And then we want to be really mindful not to pull our hips up towards the ceiling. We're not in a pike-like position. And you don't want to let those hips drop too low. We're building that strength. We're creating that long line of energy. One more big breath in. Exhale, soften your knees to the ground. Take them a little bit wider so they're about as wide as your yoga mat, and sit your hips over your heels, child's pose. Take a full round of breath. And now as we start to lift up, press those big toes together. Really find that core engagement. And we're going to come up onto those knees and start to shift forward, drop the hips, heart shines forward. A little variation of an upward facing dog. Really engaging that core to help protect your low back. Take a big breath in. Exhale, send the hips back to your child's pose. Inhale up through your tabletop. And exhale back, downward facing dog. We'll take that to the other side. Inhale that left leg high. Exhale, step that left foot all the way through. Soften that right knee down. Build that solid foundation. Inhale, reach both arms up, low lunge. Left foot is forward this time. If for any reason you had your lefts and your rights confused from last time, that's okay. Just do the opposite side. Breathe into the front of that right hip. Find the length up through the side bodies, and it's a gentle drop of the shoulders to just keep them out of the ears. One more inhale. Exhale, right hand down on the inside of that left foot, adding that twist. Reaching up through those left fingertips. Stay for that inhale. Exhale, plant that left hand down. Meet me in a plank pose. So stepping that left foot back. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more inhale. Exhale, knees out wide, hips over your heels, child's pose. Take a full round of breath. Inhale, engage that core, lifting up, big toes pressing towards one another. Start to drop those hips forward, finding that up dog variation, full core engagement. Big inhale. Exhale, hips up and back, child's pose. Inhale up through tabletop. Exhale, back downward facing dog. Big breath in and out. I want to take that one more time through on each side, moving a little bit quicker. So inhale that right leg high. Exhale, step it all the way through. Left knee softens. Inhale, sweep both arms up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, left hand down to the mat. It's that twist. Stay for that inhale breath. Exhale, plant that right hand down, plank pose. Big inhale. Exhale, knees out wide, child's pose. Inhale, lift it up, shift those hips forward, drop them down, up dog variation. Exhale, back, child's pose. Inhale up through tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Last time, last side, then we move on. Inhale that left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Right knee softens. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale here in this twist. Exhale, left hand plants. We meet in that plank. Stay for that inhale breath. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, using that whole breath, shift it forward to that up dog variation. Exhale, back, child's pose. Inhale through tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full round of breath. Notice if it snuck away from you. Inhale onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees, gaze forward. Make your way top of your mat and come all the way down onto a seat. So just a little bit more of our core work, and then we hit the slower part of our practice. So sitting up with that tall spine, feet down on the mat, start to lift the toes up. Option one, come onto your heels. This is variation number one. Variation number two, lift those shins, bring them parallel with the mat, flex the toes back towards your face. Hands can rest behind your thighs. You could start to reach those fingertips forward. Take a big breath in. Stay for that breath out. One more inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Wherever you are, hands at heart center. Inhale here. Exhale, twist over towards the right. Inhale up through center. Exhale, twist it over to the left. Feel that shake. If you need to drop your heels down, that's always available. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. 2 more times each side. Exhale, right. Feel free to take a modification. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. 1 more time each side. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Plant those feet down on the mat. Give yourself a hug, folding forward. Find that breath. Beautiful job. Lifting yourself up. Just start to extend both legs out long on your mat. I sometimes like to rock and roll to get onto my sit bones. Flex the toes back towards your face. Inhale, sweep both arms high. Exhale, start to think about bringing your chest to your toes and then rounding down in your fold. Grabbing onto whatever may be available. Maybe today it's the calves, maybe it's the ankles, maybe it's the bottoms of the feet. Maybe you take a big toe bind using your peace sign fingers to grab onto those big toes. Just meet yourself where you are at today. Letting it be okay wherever you are. Sometimes we have these expectations for ourselves, where we want to be, where we expect to be. Sometimes it looks similar to how it did yesterday. And sometimes it looks completely different. So just honoring where your body is at today. We are transitioning to the slower part of our practice, to this place of some longer holds. And so just noticing what may come up for you here. Next inhale, start to sit back up tall. Plant your feet down on the mat. Lower all the way down onto your back. Once you arrive, bring the bottoms of your feet together. Knees out nice and wide. This is our Supta Baddha Konasana, butterfly on your back. And I like to often bring one hand to my heart, one hand to my belly. Maybe you give that a try. If you'd rather, arms can stay long by your side. And as we hold this butterfly position, if you find that this hip opening becomes too much, you can kind of create your own prop. So if you happen to have props that are nearby, of course you could use those, but to keep this a prop-free practice, you can always take your hands, make fists with your hands, and then you're just going to slide them underneath the thighs, and you could take them as far away from the body as you can reach and as supportive, or you can hug them in a little bit closer and allowing your hands to act almost as if they're blocks. They're supporting those upper thighs. If it feels fine for you to have no hand prop usage, that is totally fine too. Take your variation. And as we hold these longer poses, we picked up the pace on that practice, right? When we were moving, especially, as it got harder, as the shakes started hitting with those Romanian twists, maybe you found your mind being like, oh my gosh, when is this part going to be over? This is so much. She's moving too quickly. And then now here we are, we're in this part of the practice where we slow things down. And our silly little monkey minds sometimes will also have that same verbiage of like, why are we here so long? When is she going to take us out of this? And so, if that is coming up for you, I just want to honor that within you. I want you to know that you're not alone. And then I want you to sit with that, knowing that this practice is only so long. You're not going to be here forever. And in fact, sometimes if I talk long enough, by the time I finish talking, it's time for us to get out of it. This is that kind of situation. Start to engage that core, pull those knees in towards one another, planting the feet down, and maybe take some gentle windshield wiper of the knees side to side if that feels good here. And we're going to hug that right knee into the chest. And so I'm going to give you a couple options for that left leg. You can keep the left foot planted, or you can extend that left leg out long. We're going to take our right hand, reach on the inside or outside of that right foot, but just to grab onto the bottom of the foot. And then open that right knee out towards the right. This is our half happy baby. If you have that left leg extended, you can get that nice opening through the front of that left hip as well. And sometimes I like to take my left hand and just gently place it on the top of that left hip as just that gentle reminder to keep that hip down. One more breath here. Gently release that right foot. Take that left hand and start to guide that right knee over towards the left and right arm out to the right. So if this is too much of a twist with that left leg extended, or if you had that left foot planted, then both knees are going to drop to the left. So you'll take that same supine twist variation we did at the start of our practice. And inhale, come back through to center. Plant that right foot down, walk that left foot in. And we'll start to take that to the other side. So left knee into the chest, right foot stays planted or it extends on your mat. Left hand grabs onto the bottom of that left foot, and that left knee opens out towards the left. So we're in our half happy baby. Left foot is flexed as if you're making a footprint on the ceiling. And if that right leg is extended, maybe the right hand comes onto that right hip. 3 more breaths here. Start to release that left foot. Using that right hand, guide that left knee over towards the right side of your space. Left arm out to the left. Your version of the supine twist. Again, sometimes it can feel a little bit different from side to side. And so maybe you would rather take that supine twist with both knees dropping over to the right. And that's always available here. And inhale, bring that left knee back through center. Bring that right knee in to meet it. Wrap your arms around your shins. Pull your nose up to your knees. Take a big breath in together. Exhale, extend those legs out long, finding our Savasana, our final resting posture. Softening inward. Letting go. Start to take some small movements, wiggling fingers and toes, maybe rolling around the wrists and the ankles. You might take a big good morning stretch, reaching long fingertips to toes. And rolling over onto one side, coming into a fetal posture. One more moment of support from the earth beneath you. And pressing yourself up, meeting me in a seated posture. Letting your sit bones be heavy. Crown of your head pull up towards the ceiling or the sky above you. Inhale, sweep those arms out nice and wide, letting your palms meet overhead. And exhale, let your hands come down through heart center. Thank you so much for joining me. Om Shanti. Peace. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed this core and restore practice. If you liked this combination of a little bit of fire and a little bit of slowness and ease, let me know if you want more practices like this that really kind of combine the fire, the flow, with the ease, and I will work on bringing more of those to you here on my channel. If you are not already subscribed, please take a moment to do so. It helps more people find free yoga, which of course is something that we could all benefit from. Also, if you don't have my free mindful movement class calendar, it is a month of yoga practices that are pre-planned out that help you choose the practice to meet your body where it's at on any given day. And I walk you through that process of how to connect in with that mindful yoga practice. So the link for that is in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you back on your mat for your next practice.